My sister and I used to talk about death all the time. Nothing morbid, really. Just how we thought it might happen, where we'd be, who'd die first. She used to say I'd die saving her getting hit by a bus.
An odd prediction.
It was.
It's good to be back here with you. I'm glad you came back to school. Just know, no matter what happens, I'm always here for you. Always, okay? So don't fade away on me.
I know.
To think about as you read Wallace's This Is Water is, what do you worship? I know it's kind of a funny question, but trust me. What is it that drives you? What motivates you? What keeps you going? What is your purpose? I'll see you guys next week.
Cole, right?
Yeah.
I heard about your sister. I'm really sorry. I just lost my brother last year.
I'm sorry about that. Thanks.
Oh, okay, see you around.
Have a good day, Cole. You too, Professor.
Okay, listen, I'm not saying that I don't want to be back at school, but I will say that I have lost the ability to cook or do laundry or study. So.
Well, it's great to be back. Better than being at home, I guess.
How have things been since the funeral?
Really great. Really just great.
I can't even imagine. I mean, what you went through. I mean, I wouldn't even know.
I couldn't have done it without your Vivian, though. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
It's you.
I'm sorry?
No, I'm sorry, Cole. Really, for what I'm about to do. Jesus, Mark, he's awake. You're supposed to be watching him.
Sorry. What the hell is going on? Who are you? What do you want?
Relax, Cole. We're not here to harm you.
Then untie me.
You're here because I know you. I know your family, and I know what happened to your sister 5 months ago. And I'm really sorry about that.
Thanks. Now who are you and what do you want?
There's no way to tell how you're going to react to this, so I'm just going to come out and say it. We believe we can bring your sister back to life.
What are you talking about?
There's a procedure that has been discovered that almost no one knows about that can bring someone back that has died within a certain time frame. We were looking for someone to do the second experiment on, and your sister's story came to our attention.
How will you do it?
Cole, My father is 72 years old and he's been practicing medicine his entire life, doing private research on just this. He's dedicated his entire life to discovering this method. We believe this can be brought to public attention, but only if it works for more than just one case, which, by the way, worked without flaw.
You have to tell him.
I'm going to, Mark.
Tell me what?
This procedure, it's extremely complicated and involves the principle of equivalent exchange. Do you know what that means?
I can think of a pretty good guess.
Someone has to die in order to bring someone back to life.
And I'm supposed to sacrifice
This
myself.
is your choice, Cole. But I know your story and I...
Stop saying that. You know me. Who told you about me?
I can't say. But I do know that you're already considering this.
I don't believe any of this. Who has this worked on? What's this?
It's my death certificate.
What? What?
Your public speaking class. How's it going?
Interesting.
Well, what are you guys doing?
We're doing commencement speech stuff and then taking turns performing them. It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I would think it is. It's beautiful here. Is something bothering you?
No. I'm sorry.
Because you know you can tell me, right? I'm here for you.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I gotta go. I told Jack I'd meet up with him later.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I love you.
Love you too.
You can't be serious.
She showed me her death certificate, her driver's license, and an article in the newspaper on how she drowned last year. There's nothing more she could have shown me.
An identical twin.
No. She showed me 100 family photos, footage of her family at her funeral last year. I was in shock all night.
I mean, you didn't come back till like 3 a.m.
I was there for hours.
Are you actually considering this? I mean, you can't actually risk your life for this experiment.
It worked, Jack. She was standing right in front of me and she wasn't lying.
Did she threaten you at all?
No. She said that she didn't hear from me for a while. She would understand. They move on to a new subject within a month. It'd be huge for them if it worked. And for my family.
Cole, I know things with your parents aren't good since Clara died, but do you really think replacing her with you will make it any better?
Yes. And I've been thinking about that since the day she died.
You need to think about this a lot. And you need to make sure they
I'm sure, Jack. I really am. I need to ask a favor of you.
What?
There's just no way I can bring this up to Vivian.
No. No, if you're actually considering this, you have to be the one to tell her.
You know I can't do that. I need you to explain it to her and then I'll talk to her after. I need you to do this for me as a friend.
I don't like this at all. And you're gonna have a lot of conversations if you think you're gonna die.
Tell me he's lying. Tell me it's not true. You aren't actually thinking
Sorry.
about this. Tell me he's full of shit.
I'm sorry.
How could you do this to me? How could you do this to us?
It would just make things so much better.
You don't know that. There is no way of knowing that.
I do know that. I know that with every part of me.
Can't do that.
She was everything to my family. It will never be the same.
I will never be the same without you. Didn't you think about that? Didn't you think about me?
I mean, you will move on.
How could you say that? After all we've been through, how could you say that?
Yes, you did.
You think you can just blame everything on...
Cole?
What are you doing here?
Just wanted to come and visit.
Did something happen?
No. Just wanted to talk.
Talk about what?
These past 5 months have been difficult.
Jesus. Cole, it's hard enough without it being brought up every time.
Well, we have to bring it up. We have to talk about it. I don't want things to be like this forever.
Things are like this because of what happened. Nothing can change that.
And I don't know where you get off telling us how to feel about this.
I'm your son. I went through the same thing with you, and I tried to be there for you. Losing Clara was awful, and it tore this family apart. And I would do anything to bring her back.
So would I.
We all would.
Cole. I'm sorry. It just seems like this family was torn apart, and I don't know what can fix it.
Don't be sorry. It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you. It's just really hard for me to hear that he would do it without even a second thought. And it's not like I want him to put me first, it's just that he couldn't even tell me himself.
Well, he loves you so much, Vivian. You have to believe that if he does this, it's the right thing.
Nothing makes it better. But I hate that I can't pretend not to understand. I really can't. Thank you for being my friend, Rachel. I really need someone like you now.
I'm really glad you called. It must be really hard for you.
It's just, oh, sorry. Isn't it kind of crazy? I mean, Jack tells me this girl has a death certificate and showed him a video of the procedure of her father bringing her back to life. She just doesn't want it to be brought to public knowledge.
Well, because of the legalities, and I mean, they need more evidence.
Rachel, what are you talking about?
There's something you should know.
What are you talking about?
That girl, Perah, I know her. We used to live in the same town in Ohio. We were friends.
You never told me about her.
She reached out to me a couple months ago. I couldn't even believe it was her. I mean, I went to her funeral, I watched them lower her into the ground, and then she was standing at my front door. She was only asking a few trusted people. She wanted to know if I knew anyone who had recently lost someone, and who would be willing to make that sacrifice. Cole was the first person that came to mind.
How could you?
It's his decision, Viv. It's not like I'm holding a knife to his throat. Listen, I know this must be hard.
Don't! Just stop. I can't even look at you.
Vivian, you said you understood. I have to believe that's true.
All right, I'll see you guys next week. Oh, and do not forget to work on the first draft of your speeches. That due date will be here before you think.
Professor,
What's up, Cole?
I read Wallace's This Is Water, and I watched it too. And got me interested about his life.
Well, he was an incredible writer.
He committed suicide?
Yeah, he did.
How can he do that? How can he bring so much hope and reason to people and then just take his own life?
You know, that's the question with anyone that would do something like that. Celebrity or artist, anybody. It's confusing. It's not logical. They're imperfect.
What's your reason? Your religion? Why do you do what you do? That's what you asked us last week.
Teaching. Helping young people like yourself figure out how they can make the world better. And my family, wife, my son, our home, they're everything to me.
Would you do anything for them?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Professor. Have a good week.
Cole, what about you?
I have to agree with you about family. Thanks again, Professor. Perah.
Oh, Cole, you scared me. Is everything okay?
Yes. I've been wanting to talk to you about all of this. As you can imagine, I've been thinking about it a lot.
Of course.
Who died for you?
I thought you might ask that. The truth is, I don't know. My father refused to tell me. When I told him that I needed to know in order to recruit, he said he told Mark, my brother, you met him, and that was enough. So I asked Mark, but he didn't tell me either.
Does it bother you?
It does, but I understand. There's a lot of guilt knowing that someone died so that I could live again. I mean, it was so risky. It's never been done before. It just goes to show how much you can't waste life because you have one. What are you going to do with yours, Cole?
I'm going to bring back my sister. Can I trust you with everything I want to happen before I go?
I don't know what you mean.
I need to go knowing that everything won't fall apart with everyone I'm close with. I guess I mean with Viv and you. I need Vivian to move on. Even though we're in love, she has to know that it doesn't always last anyway. I mean, she's gonna go on and do all the things she's ever wanted to. Fall in love with someone who will never leave her. Live a more beautiful life than she could ever imagine. And you have to know that you were one of the first people to come to mind when I was considering this thing. You have to know that. I mean, you just have to keep living your life, man. I mean, losing me is just gonna be something that happens. It doesn't have to change anything for you. I mean, you know how much you mean to me, and... What's wrong? What is it?
You don't get to do this. You don't get to decide where we go or how we feel about you dying. You don't control what happens after you die because you're gone. And you chose this.
I'm trying to make things better. You gave me your blessing.
It doesn't change how hard this is. It doesn't change what you mean to anyone. You don't get to tell us how to feel after you're gone. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna take time. It's gonna stay with us.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I can't believe this is happening.
This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. To let someone die. It's mind-blowing. It's unreal. I have to forgive him.
Forgive him?
Well, I can't say that I'm letting him go or that I have to say goodbye because I just can't do that because I'm so furious with everything going on right now. I feel left behind. I feel betrayed. And I can't hold on to him and ruin what he knows he has to do. So I just have to forgive him. I don't want this day to happen.
I know.
What's that, Cole?
I'm guessing it's just a letter from Jack. I'll read it later before I, These past few years have been the best years of my life.
They were really something. You should read the letter from Jack. I want to spend the day with you. Away from here.
Okay.
Dear Cole, I remember the one time that I met Clara. We were freshmen, new roommates, barely knew each other. She was helping you get moved in. I didn't talk to her much, but I saw the way she was with you, and with your parents. And even though that was the only time I ever met her, I didn't know what to do with myself when she died. I've never really lost anyone, but somehow I know the pain it must come with is unbearable. When losing a friend like you crosses my mind, I push it out, because I don't know what I would do. I could never forgive you for leaving on purpose. I could never forgive myself for letting you. I hope that you can forgive me for what I've done. Please live your life for me and for her.